Hey guys, this is Gabby and Russ, and today we're talking about the art of surviving a girl's trip. So, today we're going to talk about something that I think most women have probably already survived or like barely escaped, possibly vowed to never do again. And we are talking about the girls' group trip. Now, don't get me wrong. I think for a lot of us who can love a girls trip, there's sometimes you go and it's so fun. You get the fire Instagram pictures, the matching airport fits, everything. Everything's so cute and adorable. It's fun planning on up to it and everything. But the thing is, for most of us, we have probably had a girls' trip that like ended friendships, that like made you want to be like never again, that made you kind of look at your friends sideways and like I never looked at them the same after that. So today we're gonna be breaking it down, going the key rules to surviving a girl's trip and making sure that nobody decides to leave in the middle of the trip and block all y'all on all social medias. Now, Gabby, what has been your experience with girls' trips?
So today we're just gonna be a little real and raw. Um, I went on a really close friend's girl trip with me and got into it with one of her friends, and we all stopped being friends with her. I was the victim.
Y'all all stop
No,
being friends with her? Like the original friend?
the no one of the girls she invited,
Okay.
like that like love and hip hop type. Like we got into it in a spa in a hot tub. That's how it all started. Like it was four of us. It
Was
was
a made for TV moment.
it felt like it. And I'm such a protector. If you're really close to me and like you're one of my real friends, like I will literally take the heat off of you and bring it on me because they got you effed up basically. Like I don't play about my friends. And it was such an issue. Like when we planned this girl trip, me and it's literally my best friend. Me and my best friend did not even room together. We decided that she would room with one person and I would room with the other. That way it didn't look like we were favoring people.
Yeah.
And the trip was fine. It was a 6-day trip with Tulum. You know, Tulum was really nice, but it all started on the third day. It was fine when the alcohol was flowing. When the alcohol wasn't flowing, it just kind of got that tit for tat. And she was like mad. Like I'm being to the point she didn't take no pictures with us. We're out on the rocks, like taking
Mhm.
pictures, having a good time. And she's standing all the way up there in her feelings. Like it was really bad.
Mhm.
Like my best friend was so upset. She was in the sauna crying because that's how serious it got.
Mhm.
And then it was a whole other thing of she didn't want to pay for anything. Like me and the other girl, we paid for the excursions, the taxis, shots, food. And so the issue came when we took a taxi to go to the city. We came back. We all just hopped out the taxi cab and left her because you're gonna pay. Like at
Yeah.
this point, you're not paying for anything. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And out of all the people on the trip, she wanted to throw hands with me.
Mhm.
And that's okay. You can throw hands with me, but I'm not going to throw hands with you in this. We can throw hands in the US, not over here in
Yeah.
Mexico. So we wrapped the trip up. We're in the airport. I had to go back to Miami. They're going back to DC. One's going back to Georgia.
Mhm.
And like at this point, we're not talking. Like we're in the van on the way to the airport. And she's like, so we're just not going to talk about the trip. We're not going to talk about anything. Girl, everybody's quiet, has their sunglasses on. Them two don't say anything. So there's me. I'm like, what's there to talk about? The trip's over. I just put my headphones in and went back to watching my iPad because again, I'm not about to argue with you. And I'm really trying my best, like, not to get into it with this girl, especially in an international airport, because I just move a certain way when I'm international, but we can go to town on US soil.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that story definitely went over all the issues we're going to talk about in today's episode, with all of those things being one. I'm not a big girls' trip person. I like to do trips with my girls one on one, like me and Gabby,
yeah.
me and Neek, me and Ashley, me and Angel, I like to do that. I just feel it feels better. I think sometimes the issues with girls' trips is also like, yes, we can all get along and have fun for a night, but now we try to stretch this into 5 days. And now some of y'all want to share
Yeah.
rooms in 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, depending on how big your friend group is. Personalities is a lot to mesh together especially since a lot of times on girl trips, you don't get the type of break you need. You know,
Yeah.
like I can go home and chill on my couch and be alone for a couple hours. We have to wake up and deal with y'all again. But on girl trips, sometimes y'all are sharing rooms. Other times it's just the itinerary is so packed with thing after thing after thing with each other. It just doesn't give a lot of breathing ground. I in my 20s, I did a couple girls trips. It kind of like you, it just got, some messiness, some
Mhm.
messiness. I know there was one girls trip where like there was one person, and the crazy thing is I was really only friends with one of them, but like the group was cool. I've hung out with them before because my friend has this other group of people. And so like I knew like a lot of times when she do stuff, it would be a mix of us. And we were out, we went to a club and we were like out and so forth. And one of the people, again, they've known each other for years. I'm the newbie, right? And so I'm
Mhm.
picking up that there's some like backstories that nobody gave me, but I don't know the details. And so
Okay.
eventually I get the facts of like, okay, there's one particular friend that like everybody in the group except for my friend tolerates. Like everybody else is just like she's team she does too much. And like she can be cool when she want to, but like she do a lot. But because we support this person, we gonna let this person in our group or whatever. Like everybody else is like, I can only deal with her in 5 minute doses. And then there's my
Mhm.
friend who's like, no, that's not homie. So we go out, and this girl is very extra. She's very, very extra. And then you add alcohol. We went out to clubbing. We're fine. She almost gets us not let in because the rest of us get in. She's like the second to the last get in. You got to pat up. And they were respectful. And there was a woman that patted us down and she was very respectful. But she was just like, why you touching on me? Like, you think I got a gun? Like, all of us all of us got our degrees. We got our masters. We're just
I'm
like,
not
yo,
concerned.
chill, chill, just chill, just get through the line. Like it's just very loud and it's just very, and they're like, she's already drunk. She too drunk. We can't even let her. We're like, she's not drunk. She's just extra. We promise she's just extra. Like she's like, they thought she was so drunk.
Mhm.
And all she had was like a shot when we pre-grade. And so like we finally get in and she gets sloppy drunk. I spent the whole night taking care of her. Everybody else kind of already knew that's what's gonna happen. But because of girl code, I'm like, I'm not leaving her sloppy drunk in this packed club full of, people we don't know.
Yeah.
And not
I
that they
mean, yeah.
wanted to leave her, but they were just kind of like, if I leave fast enough, it's gonna be one of y'all problem type of thing. And my dumb self was still there waiting, like, wait, we gotta get her. She's falling. And so I spent the whole night she threw up on the floor. She threw up I had to get to the bathroom. She threw up all over the place. I had to pay
Mm.
the lady in the bathroom for gum, mints, and water. Ended up costing me like
You're
$30.
such a good friend. She would have been in that bathroom by herself. I'm kidding. No, I might be serious, but
I mean, I'm helping her clean the throw up off her dress. I'm like getting her, like, I'm talking to dudes I don't want to talk to, so they let us sit down in a section. Because again, we from out of town. Like, we just popping in. Like, we not doing too much. We found out from the bus boy at the restaurant what club to go to that night. And so yeah, like I'm flirting with dudes, like, hi, can you please let us in so she can sit down? Can you? Yeah, I will give you my number. If you can let her sit down, like whole thing trying to get her to safety. And I was so pissed and annoyed because I felt like I got set up. I feel like everybody knew and I got set up.
mhm.
And so we get back to the hotel. We're like cleaning her off. She's going off. She's calling her baby daddy and cussing him. Like it's a whole thing. And so they're getting an argument because they're like, why are you even calling him? Because apparently they have a volatile relationship. So they're like cussing at each other. The other girls are arguing with her. Now they bringing up old shit. One girl tells her, like, keep in mind, like, we're still, now don't get me wrong, I was young. I was probably like 23, 24. But like they're bringing up stuff from high school. So one girl tell her that's why your baby daddy fucked her in high school. That's how y'all broke up. Like they are bringing up skeletons from years ago. I don't got no beef with none of them. None of these people know about skeletons. So I'm just like, I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to like leave, but now I feel like I have to stay. And so I stayed there and we mediated the fight until like 5 a.m.
Like that rest, that is too
It
much.
was too
Like,
much.
oh my
I
gosh.
vowed again to this day, my mutual friend, because me and her still cool. To this day, my mutual friend, like whenever she wants to do something, asks me like, I want to be some people there. You want to come? Because she know, like, because after that, I was like, don't you ever again. You know those people was messy. Don't you ever again invite me to some bullshit like that. Because also, here's the thing: when it was time to leave, I was the only one still hot. Because apparently, this is just how they travel. This happens every trip. This is like because again, I had decade long friendship at this point by the time I'm coming in. This is how they always travel. This always happens on everything. Like they were all cool. Like and everybody just kept like, I mean, that's what happens when we travel. Someone always gets too drunk, there's always a little fight, but we cool. And I was like, nah, y'all ridiculous. I refuse to, I don't traveling is relaxation for me. I travel to relax. I don't travel to like I don't adrenaline travel.
Like, I don't know, like, it's crazy too, because it's not like the 3 girls, like my best friend and 2 other girls I went with, it's not like I haven't traveled with them, like, at all. Like, I went to Houston with 3 of the girls, then on another trip, I went with the other 3. Like, so we've all traveled, went to college, and been together. It's just interesting because we've hung out together, so it was interesting. That was my first and my last, like, girls trip where it was just not like
Mhm.
that. I've still traveled with my friends, but we have went on another. We went on one more trip too, 2 more trips after that. But her cut off, excommunicated.
Well, let's talk about the survival trips. What would you say would be the first things first when going on a girls trip?
Pick your people wisely.
Yup.
Like the first things first is at this big age, I believe in lists, and I believe certain people have certain qualities, and this is where you just really got to know your friends. Um, You just gotta know your friends. Like, okay, I'm gonna invite her. I'm gonna invite her. I think she'll get along with this person. Like, I'm all for a good girls trip because I do believe they can be successful. I do believe that you do sometimes have to sacrifice a little bit of yourself for the group, and that's okay. That's okay. You just have to be willing to communicate and be open to other
Yeah.
people's opinions. You got to understand that everybody doesn't move like
Mhm.
and it's okay to be yourself too. But if there's things like excursions and stuff that you don't want to do, okay, be like, I don't want to do that, but I'll stand here and wait for you guys. Okay, no problem. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to go to the beach that day, okay. Or even if you need a self-care day, like, hey, I'm not gonna be hanging out today. I'm just gonna take a self-care day by the beach and read a book and just relax. Like, I really do feel like they can work. It's just you really have to communicate and you have to be okay with communicating because what makes it hard is when you're on a girls trip and you're just like, and we're like, are you okay? I'm fine.
Mhm.
Are you hanging out with us today? I don't know, we'll see. Like, that makes it 10 times difficult and just
Yeah.
makes you not fun to be around. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, vacation's supposed to be you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be somebody else, be whoever you wanna be. You can be Jade, the exotic painter of naked men if you want to. Like, it just what I'm saying? Like, you just have to you can be whatever. You have to make it work for yourself. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think definitely when it comes to picking your travel sisters wisely, like there's some questions you need to ask yourself. I'm a big believer, it goes back to what you said about knowing your friends, of like
Mhm.
knowing what category of people your friends are.
Yeah.
Like I have some friends that are my friends, but they're my ratchet friends. Like there's certain situations. Gabby's one of my ratchet friends. But like there's certain situations like I know this is not their area. I just know this is not their area. I ain't gonna ask them too much if they want to go. I'm not gonna push it. Those are my ratchet friends. I also have other friends that are like my type A friends. Like I have certain friends who I know like if I take them somewhere and it's not at least a 4 star, they are beside themselves. They are very much bougie. They are very much like, and so I would never mix those two groups together for a 5 day trip. I
That
wouldn't.
is
They
so
would drive each other crazy.
I love that you say that because, like, my best friend has other friends she travels with, and she's invited me to travel with them, but I have refused because they are so bougie, and I am not that girl. I'm bougie to a certain extent,
Mhm.
but they're all for the fashion, the name brand, the this, the that, the scenery, the pictures, the da 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 da. I'm just trying to get asshole naked on this motherfucking beach and chill out. I'm sorry I said it like that, but that's the truth. Like
Fair.
I'm very different. I travel different. I'm not looking pretty. I'm looking pretty, but I'm not sitting over here just by the beach looking pretty like, oh, I don't want to get wet. Like I don't want to get my hair wet. I don't want to do this. I'm over here damn near naked dancing with the next man. Like I travel different. And so therefore I would love they've been to some fun places, but I have not been with them because they're not my scene. They're good people. I love them to death. They're super nice. But just not my travel people. They're just not my people.
Yeah. And you gotta, those are things you gotta check. Are these my travel people? Are these people who once every, like, I think about it this way, like, there are some friends that you have that you love, you adore, but like, you can only take them in doses. Like, our friendship works because our friendship have space. Those are
Yeah.
not the people to be stuck on a cruise with for 7 days.
Girl.
Think about the personality types. And are these personality types going to blend? And this is a personality type that I can stand without breaks for how many ever days you got to go on a trip. It's
Mhm.
important to know. Also, think about, are these the people who are responsible? Kind of like Gabby said, I don't play in airports. I don't play in airports. Like, you not about to get me on the, if I'm going to get on the no fly list, it's going to be because of some political shit I decided to do fully and stood in it. But like, I'm not about to fight you at the airport. I'm not getting in arguments with you at the airport. Like, we not doing this. We're not
Okay.
doing this.
Well, she's a black on the no-fly list. She done went on a political rant. I'm just
Look,
not gonna
like, there's certain things that I do that can definitely, and we ain't gonna go there. But like,
Oh,
it's
that's
not gonna be because of no foolishness like that. It's not, and the same thing like with like, I'm not going to jail overseas. Me and my black behind are not going to jail overseas. I'm just not. I'm just, if I can help it. And so I think about that. Like, when I'm going internationally, are these people who play too much? Are these people who don't take things seriously? Are these people who, like, sometimes you don't know how to act?
that
You don't know how
part.
to hold your liquor. I don't try, especially when people want to drink. If you don't hold your liquor, I do not travel. Like, I don't, that is such a huge thing for me. It's one thing
Yeah,
to get drunk. Just at
I
this
definitely
age, I'm not doing it. In a foreign country, on top of that, I don't like people who don't respect the laws of the land that we're at.
girl, because every law is different. We're not on US soil. You're at the mercy of them. So you better like I don't play around.
I don't go international with people who won't read up and find out about the culture. It's like, I have a homie who asked me to go to Dubai with them, and I was like, "You play too much for me to ever go there with you." They are very strict. They are very strict, and you like to play. You don't. I was
Goodbye.
like, I don't. I can't go. You are,
Just
as you invited me, you're making jokes about things that can get us in jail. No, sir. So like, thinking about those things, like, okay, yes, they're real fun when we at the house chilling. Dude, can I take this behavior outside of these walls for 7 days internationally? Just and only people I got to depend on are these 4 people. Does that sound smart?
look up this TikTok, if you guys ever get the chance. But there's a girl who, and Rest said a really good thing, especially about knowing your knowledge about these foreign countries. This girl got locked up, went to jail for going to, and she brought a dildo. If you know, that's a very religious country, and they don't believe in that. They don't do that over there. She got locked up.
What?
We just can't remember what. Anywho, that's the point. But there is a country that this girl got locked up coming straight from the airport for bringing a dildo. It is on TikTok, and she talked about her whole experience about it. So she said, make sure you do your knowledge, make sure you're knowledgeable about some of the countries you travel to because they're very religious, very very
Yeah.
religious, and there are some countries that just don't believe in that. So
Mhm.
just make sure you do your research.
Yeah. See, my dad was a diplomat when I was growing up. And so, like, the embassy used to send us to trainings, or the State
Mhm.
Department used to send us to trainings. And every time my dad moved to a new country, I had to get a new training on how, even as a child, these are the norms, these are the customs. This is what I need you to understand. And so that's something I'm really huge on. And you're right. It's like, sometimes people don't even think to, like, hey, this is a different country. They have different rules. Maybe I should know something different.
Yeah, I agree. There was something else she said that I was going to bring up a good point. Oh, liquor. Listen, I get real about that life when I drink. Like, I know that about myself. I drink, lived in Miami, so of course I drink. When I go out, I'm a different person. But one thing and two things for certain, if you cannot hold your alcohol, don't try to be hang with me. Cause I'm that girl who will literally go to the bathroom and throw up and come back out and still party. Like I'm that, like I don't even need anybody to even take, like I can be drunk and still get myself around. Like I can be very intoxicated and still do it. Like so I've never really understood how people can get to the limits of not being able to hold their alcohol or just all like this. Like that's never happened.
It's one
So
thing if
you're
it's
just
just every
this.
now and then. It's one thing if it's just every now and then. It's just like blue moon type thing. You going through a divorce type thing. Like I give people exceptions. It's when it was like, girl, we had TGI Fridays. Why are you blackout drunk?
The
You
only
know,
time
you live in Alpharetta. I'm over here in let's I can't use my real address, but let's say you live in Alpharetta. I'm over here in Decatur. Like, how are we getting you
it
home?
makes sense.
How why are you so drunk? And how am I getting you home?
The only time I remember, I have two occasions I got really intoxicated is when I first started, me and this guy start talking, like started like, he took me to a house party. They had hooch, and I've never had hooch before. For people
Mm.
who don't know what hooch is, it's a mixture of like Everclear and a whole bunch of other random stuff. Interesting. Then I remember going to, can't think of the college right now, but it's a college in Ohio, Akron. I went to Akron University with my friend who was gone off this football player at the time, and we had Hulks, and I've never
Oh
had
my
Hulk before.
gosh. I remember do they still serve Hulks?
Such a whole phase, like that right there. If
Yeah.
for the youngins who don't know about Hulks, they're
Yeah.
dangerous, and that's all I can say. They're very dangerous because that was another night I woke up and didn't know what was going on.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Hulks. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Hulks and blue motherfuckers. Did
yes.
you ever do the blue motherfuckers?
Motherfuckers and Four Locos. So that was a
How
whole
we
phase.
survived the early 2000s is like beyond me. Or the
It
mid
was amazing.
2000s is beyond me. We have Four Locals, we have Blue Motherfuckers and Hulks.
Hmm.
You the back then nobody was really checking IDs like that. Like you knew which clubs to
We
go
were
to
not
not get your
21.
ID
I was
checked.
not 21. Like what? No, I was not. Like, absolutely not.
Ah,
Oh,
what a time to be
what a
alive.
time. It
But
was a time.
going back to choosing your travel sisters wisely, something that you said in your story that I want to touch on is like, do these motherfuckers pay? Do these motherfuckers pay? The amount of girl trips that have been ruined by someone who either doesn't pay. When
Mhm.
y'all go out, it's always, oh, I left my car. I'm gonna cash app you later. Oh, I don't got signal. The cash app ain't working in here. The amount of times of people who do that, but also the people who come, one of my biggest pet peeves, the people who come on vacations with no money.
Never
And also
understood
they
it.
don't tell nobody until y'all are there. Because if you tell us beforehand, we can rearrange some of the stuff on the itinerary. We can make it a little bit more friendly. We can, hey, we gonna do this. What you gonna do? Because we are like, let's hash those things out before. Like, we'll go on these trips, knowing y'all got all this shit planned and won't say shit until you guys are already there. So then it puts y'all in this weird category of like either we gonna go and oh well for you. Now you got an attitude, you split a group, Nika empath, she's sensitive. So now she feels bad and said, guys, we should stop leaving her alone. And we should like it can create such crazy dynamics. Or you will oh, I wish I could go. Y'all get to do everything. Oh, shucks. And now we paying for your extra stuff. Or by the time we go to leave for the trip, you owe everybody for dinner and lunch. You kept doing shots on Trina's tab, like, and then nobody can reach you when we get home. Right. Nobody can reach you when we get home, and it's time to finally send that cash app you kept talking about.
Say that again. Just say, like, because when the girl that we went on the trip with to Tulum,
Mhm.
we previously took a trip to Houston. And I remember telling my best friend, I would remember looking at her and being like, I spent so much money she didn't even spend any money like that, and she's like, "I know, I spent a lot of money too." We had talked about it, and we just kinda let it go, and then we get to the Zoom, and it was kinda the same experience with the same person, like, you didn't pick up the tab. You know, at the end of the day, one thing about me and birthdays is that if I know it's your birthday and we're on a trip, baby, you won't have to pay for anything. I'm gonna pay for your dinner. I'm gonna pay for your excursions. I'm gonna whatever you wanna do. You wanna
Mhm.
go whack camels. I'm gonna pay for it. I don't care because at the end of the day, you're my friend, and I would truly believe on your birthday, it's like the one day you shouldn't have to pay for anything. Now, I'm not saying I'm paying for the whole trip, the whole thing, but specifically on your birthday, that specific day, like, you do whatever you wanna do. I don't care if it's $400 or $500. Now let me know, it depends on how much I love you. I'll do it for you because it's your birthday. And me and in Tulum, me and the other friend went half on all the excursions for my best friend and all the dinners and everything. And I remember her not paying for anything. You ain't gonna pay for no taxi cab. You're not gonna pay for nothing. But we didn't even do have that type of energy. It's kind of one of those things like, oh, okay, you do what you can afford. I'm gonna do me, you
Mhm.
know? So yeah.
And my whole thing is it's not even about shaming people who don't have it like that, but it's
Yeah.
about, okay, then let's be honest about where we are financially. So
You shouldn't have came.
either, yeah, like, so either you could decide, hey, I can't do this one, or we find a more budget friendly one. I have
Yeah.
no problems finding a more budget friendly one. I have had moments where I didn't really have it like that. I have had moments when friends they didn't really have it like that. And so it was like, I know we said we was going to Bali. Girl, we going to Houston. Like we have made those, like, we gonna cut it back. We go still, we made those arrangements. And it has been like no issue, but it's when you don't tell folks. It's when it's because it feels like you setting me up. It feels like you trying to get over on folks.
I definitely
Um,
agree.
and again, it's no problem when, like, you let people know ahead of time, because some people will again adjust to things, or it might simply be like you said, this one is just not for you.
Mhm.
But when you go on the trip and then again, just dang, I paid for all the Ubers everywhere. And that's starting to add up. Plus my dinner and then your drinks because you said you was gonna pay
Yeah.
me back.
Yeah.
The room is in my name. You ordered a couple meals up to the room.
I don't play games like that.
Work.
I
Well, so then let's go to the second tip, which is the trip is not real until deposits are paid. Now, here's the thing, because when you start off in the group chat always starts off bigger than whoever shows up on the actual group. First, it's lit. Somebody will send a TikTok like, look at this resort. It's all inclusive. And everybody is like, yeah, let's go. Oh man, I just looked on Delta. We can get there round trip $180, business class. Yeah. Everybody's like, everybody loves it. Everybody is talking about all the amenities. And, oh man, they got this over there. We got to go over there. Everything is happening. But the minute deposits come up, because someone said, I'll look into it. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna see what the package is. I'm gonna see if they got something. And then I'm gonna sit in. Everybody's like, bet, 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 bet. But when you come back, you tell them, all right, guys, it's gonna be 3,000 per person. All of a sudden
cricket
is okay, huh?
crickets.
Crickets. It's 3,000 per person. If we all put 200 down by the 13th, we'll be good. All of a sudden, crickets. There's one person that usually chime in like, oh, okay, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna send it to you on the 12th. They don't send it to you on the 12th. There's always a person who is, oh man, I didn't know y'all was talking about like paying right now. I got bills due. I'm a like, I don't know, can somebody let me think about it, or I'll pay double the next time. But they don't. People just start falling out. And I think one of the tragedies that kind of happens here is there's always one person who, like, the signs are there that this is not about to go anywhere, or it's not going to go with as many people, and they're like holding on to it. And this is the person that usually crashes out. That usually, sends a very dramatic, y'all said y'all want to go, but nobody's actually putting down it. Girl, it's okay. Don't
Right.
take it seriously until people start putting up money.
So, for those who don't know, I am also a virtual assistant. I am a traveling virtual assistant, and I have a travel planner. I help her with her trips. Currently helping her with a trip right now for a group of people. And one way around doing like trips with your friends, you literally can get a travel agent who can set up the whole trip, do the whole trip for you, And that way, you don't really have to worry about payments. They make their own payments. That solves that.
Each
That
person
is the
individually.
yes, to me, that's how we did it for Tulum, and everybody was responsible for their own portion of the room, and they already knew their bill, they knew all that. To me, that's the easiest way to do it because it's really hard. I do think people tend to lack a sense of accountability when it comes to if they have to pay you versus if they pay somebody else who's asking them
That's
for the
true.
money for the trip. So,
That
that's how we did it.
familiarity.
Yeah, and it just worked. It just worked.
Mhm.
So, okay, I know this isn't on the topic list, but I'm so curious. So, like, once the deposit is paid and you're there, who puts the credit card on the room?
Usually me. It's usually me, and it's usually me because I am big about my rooms. Like, we not about to do Holiday Inn. Like, I am big
Girl.
4-star or above. I'm big on, like, I need to check out the room. I'm very picky about rooms,
Mhm.
and so it just usually end up being me. Like, when it comes to the
Yeah.
hotels rooms, I'm really like, "I want a Japanese soaking tub," and they're like, "Russ, I'm on vacation. I want my Japanese soaking tub." Like, I'm big on it, so it's usually end up being me. What about with you?
That was one of the things for this girls' trip when it came we got to the resort and everything, and they were asking for a credit card because it's 1 room, 2 people. We're all looking at each other, and I stepped up and I was just like, "I'm gonna put my credit card on our room. I don't really know what you're gonna do about y'all's room, but
Mhm.
I got us." So, like, um, granted, we didn't damage the room or anything, but, like, that's always a big thing because, some people just don't have credit cards, and I was one of those people who didn't get a credit card for a very long time.
Yeah.
I didn't get a credit card till after 25.
Mhm.
So, it's always like, who's gonna, do
Yeah.
who's responsible for that?
Yeah. Well, me, I'm not really worried about that because, like, if it is that we're sharing a room type of situation, I'm not sharing a room with anybody who I'm concerned about, like, them doing stuff. Like, I won't even put myself in that type of situation. So yeah, no, I don't mind putting my card down for the room, but also like not I wouldn't put it down for like it's an Airbnb and it's gonna be 20 of us there. Nah. Like nah.
Right, 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 right. I got you, I got you.
Yeah. But if it's like I have to share a room with one of the girls, then yeah, I'll put my card down. Because more than likely I made us get the more expensive room. More than likely I was the one who was like picky about where we ended up.
Yeah,
All
I got you.
right, well then so the next tip
So, room assignments.
word.
They can make or break our friendships. Sleeping arrangements will be the first true test of your bond. Some people snore like a chainsaw. Some people need a room at 60 degrees and some need it at 80. I'm definitely a cool girl. And let's not forget the makeup and hair bomb explosion that will happen in the bathroom. And girls are unanimous for this because it definitely does happen. Some people are light sleepers. Some people claim the couch early. Some people also have late nights and come in drunk and disturb your sleep. So you have to, you know, decide strategically who your roommate is going to be. And I found this very interesting because when we did the trip, I'm just going to refer back to the trip to Tulum. Me and my best friend decided not to room together because we said we didn't want to make the other 2 people jealous. So she gave me first choice of who I wanted to room with. I chose the more difficult one. And it's crazy because the more difficult one happened to be the easiest one, where the other girl was actually her roommate because she's not traveled with all of us before, so I figured she would wanna be with the birthday girl because that's who she knew, you know? So, we made it work, like, it was just one of those things like, "Okay, we're gonna make this work," and we strategically thought this out. Granted, it didn't work out that way, the other girl that was rooming with my best friend actually said that she felt like she should have roomed with me, and when I thought about it, I'm like, "Maybe it's good that you didn't room with me because, me and you ended up getting in an altercation." Well, not a physical fight, but just verbally, and so I don't know. I always thought about how we could have prevented this and how this could have been better. But you do have to think strategically. Like the person I roomed with, it was fine because she's quiet. There's times she's quiet and she's sitting on the couch. I don't think she has an attitude. She's just quiet. So I do my own thing. And she's very clean. She picks up her stuff. So do I. So it just kind of works out that way. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think this is super, super important. I have a homie who, like, we get along great when we
Hmm.
do not travel together. Like we just know that we need to not travel together. And it was like a day. It was like a night thing. Like I think it
Mhm.
was we got in one day, slept there one night, left the next day type of situation. And it's because yeah, we just have different night habits. We have different things. Like for me, I'm not bringing no dude back if we sharing a room. I'm just not. It's not even an option. If you feel the need, then you need to go to wherever he at type of situation.
I think
And
that's like a common rule though. Is that not like girl code?
I thought so. I thought so, but it's not. I've actually had this happen more than once.
Interesting. Interesting, because that's never happened to
So,
me.
me and Meek had an episode where we talked about being a free spirit, and I felt I cut out so much of myself that I was like, I felt like I didn't explain free spirit good enough for myself. But a lot of times people see me as a free spirit. I am a hard worker. I am somebody that's like definitely, I be putting in 60, 70 hours of work a week, every other week. But I am very much like I'm an astrology girly. I'm an esoteric girly. Like I'm very much a what is the wind trying to tell us girly? Like I look up at the moons type of girly. I'm
She's not
very
lying. She's not
yeah, I am. And so
lying.
it is sometimes hard because sometimes someone will meet me like in when I'm in work mode. And so when they find out that other side, they're like, what the hell? Because that's how I come off in work mode. And they be like, what? It does not make sense. Anyways, I say all that to say though, because I can be such a spiritual girly, I think sometimes people feel comfortable kind of like doing shit that I think like they would not pull on other people because they'd be like, you down with the no, no. Like, yes, sex
She's not that
positivity over
girl.
here, but not when I'm laying in bed next to you. Like, not when I'm in the next
At
bed.
least take it. I'm so opposite because I'm like, if you're gonna bring a dude back, take it to the bathroom. Take it to the bathroom.
No, y'all
Don't
need
come
to
in here.
put on your location. Let's have a code word and I'll rescue you later if need be. Like that's what the play. If you feel the need, if you feel the need, or like wait till I'm like, girl, I'm about to go down to the pool, and you like, if you could give me an hour and 46 seconds, that would be great. Touch my bed, cool. But like while I'm in the bed, bonnet on, watching TV, don't bring Kodak back. Walking through, like, man, what are we doing? Now, of course, that doesn't happen now, but I'm talking about when I was in my 20s. Like, I was like, I've had a couple situations where I'm just like, oh, you thought because I was like whole power, I was like down with the get down. No, no. I mean, good for them, no shame, no judgment. But in my household, we shall not bring other niggas to the room while you are there.
That's so interesting. I never knew that about you. I'm glad I know now, but I am I
Not that you have plans for our trip later. Not you be
I am
like,
I am
girl.
I am very free spirited. So like if you bring somebody back to the room, that's not gonna bother me because I would flip right over, put them headphones in and go on about my night. Like I'm like that. I've had friends get head on the balcony and I'm in the room. I had friends do it in the bathroom. I woke up and been like, do I know it? Oh God, let me put my headphones in. Like
Oh,
I don't judge. I don't judge. Now, personally, for me, I have never brought anybody back to the room while my friends have been in there. I that's not me. Have I like had like I remember having a party and I messed with my boyfriend, but we were in my room and everybody else is partying, so that's different. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
but bringing somebody like back to the room, knowing somebody else is like right in there, no. But I've also been the girl who I brought somebody back and they brought somebody back, and so we all had fun. They were on one they side, I'm on my side.
I'm just
Like,
gonna
you know what I'm
edit out
saying? So
so much of this episode, Gabby.
is that not appropriate? I can't say that. I mean, so like it's on a girls trip, it's hard for me because like, you know, like if it ain't no fun unless we all get some. So if we're
But
all
see, my
drinking
thing
and
is like, we're grown. We have big kid money. Like, let's just get our own rooms. Like, that's
well,
also, I'm always team, let's get my own room. Like, if I'm sharing a room,
yeah.
it's because somebody else is like, no, it's just, whatever the situation. But like, I'm always team, get my own room. So do whatever the hell you want in your room. Do whatever the hell you want at this age. But I'm talking about when we was like working at like the daycare and Chick-fil-A and we traveling on spring break type money, you gotta save, you gotta, share the room and stuff like that.
Right, I get you.
Why we walking? If y'all don't get creative, in the lobby bathroom. Like I don't know.
And you can get creative. You can do it in public bathrooms. You can there's several things that you can do.
But yeah,
Several.
so yeah, keep it in mind, roommate assignments. If you know y'all get down in two different ways, why even cause that? Things like that, keeping stuff in mind. Like if I know there's certain things I'm a stickler for, if there's certain things like I don't want
Yeah.
my room messy. And I know the minute you get in here, you're gonna have clothes everywhere. You're gonna have shoes everywhere. You never gonna clean it up. It's gonna look like a pigsty the whole time we're here. Then maybe reassign, not room together. Even though that's your bestie, that's the one that y'all have so much fun. Have fun when y'all leave the room.
Our next survival tip is watch out for the one. Every girls trip has the one, and if you don't know who it is, it could be you. The one who's always broke, the one who can't handle their liquor, the one who starts drama out of nowhere, the one who suddenly turns into a tour guide, and there's always one of those. These people test your patience, so protect your peace, protect yourself accordingly. Um,
Can I add one more in there?
Go ahead. Which one? What you want to add?
The one who always ruin the trip about a man. Whether it is they try to invite the man, they secretly invite the man, they meet a man while they're there, and then they disappear for everybody because they off playing a secret marriage with this Jamaican man who lives on the island. Like there's always one who's willing to ruin the trip for everybody over a man.
Sadly, there is. There is. There is. That's very true. That's very true. I guess if I say that example, that makes me seem like a hater. Now I'm not going to use
What?
that example, guys. So on my 30th birthday, you expect certain things to happen, and then you realize it doesn't happen with you; it happens with somebody else, and you're like, salty. But we're not going to go into that story.
Okay,
Um,
I'm confused. We'll talk about that story later.
no, okay, so I'll talk about it. So you meet random people and people connect and stuff like that. And this particular person decided that they wanted to go off with the guy and they left me by myself on my birthday.
Your birthday?
And so I was just very confused because I'm just like what am I supposed to do, you know? And when you talked about a guy, it made me think of that. And it's just like, am I wrong for feeling like you left me, abandoned me
No.
because you wanted to get the D? Or should you have stayed and hung out with me and didn't get the D? So I always go back and forth with that, especially when we're there for 7 days. Like, that makes me seem like a hater, I guess. And I'm not a
No,
hater.
I don't think so.
And,
Not on my actual birthday. Like
yeah.
maybe if we y'all there for 7 days, hey, I'll see you tomorrow the day after. Like, but on my
That's how
actual
I
birthday,
feel.
no.
Like, you just could have communicated, I guess, and said that. And then it was one of those things like you try to be sly and sneak out the room, be like, oh, I'm going to go see him. Okay, girl. Like, dude, like, that's little things I don't like. But, everybody's different.
I once went on a trip with somebody who like their man didn't come, but he might as well have because they were on the phone or FaceTime them the entire time. Like we were in the
That's the
club and she
worst.
was on the phone FaceTime with him. We were
That's the
walking down the
worst.
street back to the hotel. She was walking down the street FaceTiming him. At dinner, she would FaceTime him like the whole time. Now, luckily, I had other people there. It wasn't just me and her. So it was just like, okay, but it alienated her from the rest of us because leave them, let them. I don't understand why y'all connected at the hip. Why is he not at work?
And I don't really care for tour guides. I've been to cities and we've had no itinerary and we've found everything just fine, spur of the moment, and did everything we wanted to do. Sometimes I think it's beneficial when you go on girls' trips and you're like, okay, so what do you want to do? Like, I prefer to, I like to just plan at the moment. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, and that does move us into the next one, which is the itinerary can make or break the group. I think when you are looking at the itinerary, one, I think it's something that needs to have put in for everybody. I
Yeah.
think do polls. I think sometimes you get into these trip group chats and it's just like one person like a drill marshal. Okay, this is where we're going. This is where we're gonna say we're gonna leave this day. We're gonna send this, and you're just like, did she talk to
Overwhelmed.
anybody before she sent this? Like, did anybody agree to any of this stuff? Everybody's consideration needs to be taken in. Kind of like Gabby, I need breaks from people on like I don't even like doing long trips to be honest with you. Like once we get to 4 days, I need a break. Like there needs to be a day where I get to be by myself. And everybody that travels with me know this because I let them know. Like if we are, I don't care, I don't care if I'm coming in to meet your mama. You and your mama got 3 days before y'all need to have a day by yourself, and I get to like walk through the city park and I get to have breakfast by myself. Again, I'm a person who likes time to myself. I really like having me time. And I, that like I know I have been a part of groups where they're like, okay, and what else? And it's been thing after thing, and I'm like, hey, so can we have a break? Do we have to have snorkeling after the dolphin cruise, after the brunch, after the sunrise breakfast? Like, can we have a break somewhere? So, make it balanced. Don't make it everything is a thing after thing. Make sure people are involved, and then make sure people know about certain things. If you're a person who needs time, tell them beforehand, because sometimes it can seem petty, it can seem like vindictive or whatever when y'all all been hanging, chilling, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love you guys. I'm having so much fun." And you go, "Uh-huh. So I'm not gonna go on the sunrise cruise. I'm about to go be by myself. I'm walking around the town." To me, I don't see no problem with that, but for some people that can feel panicky. Also, when we're talking about the itinerary, like this is also a good place to put in if you are the person who likes time to himself to wander off, check marks for you guys to stay safe. Because sometimes in a moment when people are going to be like, okay, well, can you call us every 15 minutes? Can you turn your location? It could be like, girl, I'm grown. I ain't, why y'all checking in with me? Or, okay,
That's
I'll do it. Have these discussions beforehand.
that's
Because
me.
one, especially when you're in a different country, I want to make sure you're safe. I feel responsible for you. Let's have a plan.
Rest is like that in real life. I just want you guys to know, and she has to wing me back in sometimes because I'm the one that's like, she's like, "Your location, where are you living? What time?" And I'm like, "Oh man," like that's me in real life.
Yeah, no, no, it is. I actually, yeah, I just recently had to tell her to send me her location again. You took too long to answer the phone call. I was very concerned. I was like, nah, nah, ain't no, oh, I'm sorry. I want apologies about your church over location sent to me. But no, but like, especially when y'all in foreign countries and stuff, like, have a
Yeah,
plan. You never want for something wrong to happen. And when they ask you questions, you can't explain because y'all never even had the conversation.
very true. Oh, so I went on this trip and it was so overwhelming because the girl had the itinerary to down to the T from like 6 a.m. to almost like 2 a.m. every day. And I was wore out to the point I had to tell her, like, girl, you gotta chill. Like you like I need a break. I'm tired. Like, okay, now I loved watching sunsets on Jeeps riding up the mountain, skipped dinner, couldn't skip dinner, go change your clothes, do this. Like that's very
Mm.
stressful. So I'm not an itinerary girl. I am more of a spur of the moment girl. Like I'm one of those that'll wake up and be like, so what do you want to do today? Okay, let's go feed dolphins by the bay. Okay, no problem. Let's figure it out. Like I think sometimes people get caught up in people get caught up in the scenery and people get caught up in, oh, I want to do this, and this while I'm over here. And they genuinely just forget to enjoy the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
I am a spur of the moment person, so yes, I might make an itinerary, but that might not be what I wanna do that day. That might not be what I wanna do in that week. Everything on that itinerary, I actually might not do.
Yeah.
So, I am more of a, "Oh, so what do you wanna do today?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm like that because I may be back on the resort or back in my hotel by 6, and I'm cool with chilling by the pool or chilling by the beach for the rest of the night. So,
You and
I'm not really a big
Ashley
fan of itinerary.
You and Ashley would travel so well together because that's how Ashley travels. Ashley very much just like wakes up and like, let's see what the world takes us. Me and Neek travel good because me and Neek believe in having at least an idea of what to do. Like our whole day ain't planned, but like I specifically picked that hotel because it's near this restaurant. We can walk to this
Right,
park, we
right,
can go to
right.
this museum. So like we have an idea of like, okay, we do want to either go to the park or the museum that day. And then we can decide that day. We do at least want
And
to
I
make sure we
laugh.
go to this restaurant. So, but like
Right.
no, because me and Ashley has tried. Well, I have tried. Me and her went to Savannah for her birthday one year with some of her other friends. But yeah, that's how she travels. Like she's just very much you get there, like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, let's Google it. Why didn't we Google before? Vibes. And I'm like, okay, okay. All right. Y'all two would get along very well.
I crack up because when I do come visit you, you always ask, "So what do you wanna do?" And I never can come up with anything.
I know. I know.
I never got anything in me.
I always gotta do it. It's fine. I already have ideas. I already have ideas. My thing is though, like it doesn't have to be super structured, but I do like knowing because for me, it's about control. But like if we have an idea, also can help with budgeting. So we can't nobody
Yeah.
say, like, well, I didn't know you guys wanted to get on a hot air balloon and they're $500. Like, it kind of, but if we know we're thinking about going to the movies or going to the steakhouse or going to this like amusement park, okay, I probably need to have like 150 at the least for this.
I am so like I literally just said this to my mom today. I was like, she's like, I have fun, I do this, I'm spur the moment. And I said, yeah, I'm always spur the moment when it comes to my credit card. Like you just let it and then I'll be like, let's have fun and I'll deal with the consequences later. I am not a planner like that. Like I am not. I'm not that girl. Like I do better like one thing I do enjoy about rest is when I do go visit her and stuff like that, she'll be like, "Okay, well, let's go do this." Oh, that works for me because half the time I don't even know what I want to do. So I just, if you come up with something, then maybe that's something that sounds like I want to do. So it just makes sense.
And one of the reasons me and you also do well together travel wise is like both of us like time alone. Like every single time you
100%.
have came here to visit me as well, I have had times where you was just out on the patio by yourself. You was walking around the house doing whatever it is you doing. You on the phone with your man with a bag of Cheetos, just walking through the house. And
Very
I'm in
true.
my room chilling, having the time of my life, watching TV. And we might not see each other for like 8 hours. Then we just, you good? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Did I need
easily.
to feed you? And I fed myself. Okay. And then we just gotta go back. And I love that. I hate when even in oh my gosh, even in like partnership, I hate when it's like we have to be up under each other all the time. Like, oh my gosh, the first 72 hours was so cute. I really want to bathe without someone staring at me though. That'd be great.
Mm.
That was so great. But I really want to like just starfish it in the bed by myself and I have to worry about my bonnet being in somebody's face. Or am I moving too much? Am I gonna wake him because it's the fifth time I done flipped over? No, I want to just be ugly in peace, alone without you. If you could give me 2 days, and that's how I feel on vacations as well.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, give me a couple hours. So yes, and then the last one is the group trip ain't over to the group chat survives or talks. And basically, what we mean by this one is okay, yes, everything happened. Y'all might have had a drag out ball. Somebody might have revealed a deep hidden secret from middle school. Two of y'all not talking. One came to the airport in her own separate taxi. But the group is chat is not over until we have a talk. Okay, it might not be the time at the airport. It might not be the time when we all get home. We might need a week or two. But after the group trip, talk to your girls. See what things can be ironed out. Sometimes it's just a matter of, okay, we need to not travel anymore. It doesn't mean it has to be the end of the friendship. And you got to remember that because sometimes these group trips can really make you walk away feeling like I won't ever want to talk to her again. When the truth of the matter is, it's not a deal breaker in regards to I can't trust this person. I can't. Can be just a matter of me and them can't live together, not even on a partial basis for 4 days. Cool, I know that. Let me give myself time to simmer down. But this relationship is still salvageable. Give it 40 hours before bringing back up things like unpaid tabs, missing items, or wild behavior. Give people a chance to detox first. For some people, vacation is like the only time they get a break. And not to excuse these folks, but sometimes when you've been just feeling like you've been masking for the last 6 months and this is your time to let free, let go, some people they overdo it. Some people they got so much pent up energy that they needed somebody to tell them to reel it in. And again, not to excuse the behavior, but to possibly give some of these people, our friends, breaks. Let people be tox before you bring stuff up, and then try to keep it cute. If it's not a gay friendship in there, then let's try to mend it.
I don't agree with any of that.
You like, fuck that bitch. These are for friends. You talking about someone that you were not friends with.
It's her one of my friends.
All right.
I um um so I do believe in grace, but if you acted a plum effing fool on a trip, don't expect me to come back to the US and have that same energy. Like, I have nothing to say to you. If you embarrass me, if you act a fool, if you're too drunk, can't hold your liquor, if you're really if you're out here fighting, no. I don't hang with people like that. I don't know how else to say that in a nice way. If you're acting poor, like you can't pay for anything, and it falls on me and some of the other people in the group, or just you're acting selfish, childish, manipulative, no. No, ma'am. I'm not giving it 48 hours, I'm giving it eternity.
Again, I said for the things that are salvageable, not for the things that
Oh,
are not. I'm talking
okay.
about
I missed
the
that part.
yeah. I'm not saying let this person spit in your face and be like, okay, we're back in the US. Let's be forgetful. No, I mean, like, though, when it's like you had an attitude on day three and it kind of made the day three horrible for us, but like you can work through they had an attitude on day three.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, when it comes to things like, the little things, not when they try to scam the whole group of group money. Like, not that's not what I'm saying.
You said it so sweet, and I was like,
No, I just
"Mm."
mean the things that are salvageable because I have seen people that like, yes, it was a horrible trip, but it was just like, okay, this one had an attitude over something stupid. And so then you had an attitude back because they had an attitude in the first place. And so now
Right,
everybody had a bad trip because y'all just had attitudes with each other over.
right,
And then so it's like, yeah, she messed up our trip to Barbados, but like it's okay. Like it was 3 days. We
right,
can
right,
go
right.
back.
I got you.
Yeah, for things that
I
are
guess.
salvageable.
I guess I understand. Side eye.
No, I ended a friendship over New Year's Eve again, acted a plum fool, and I was just like, you know what? You don't even gotta worry about me, sweetheart. I'm about to drop you off. I'm gonna take you
And
back
that's that.
home.
Oh my gosh. All in all, you really just have to choose the right people, avoid drama, plan ahead, pack your patience. Because I do believe in girl trips, you do sacrifice a little bit of yourself for self for the greater good of the group.
Yeah.
Um, and it might actually make it out the group chat, and it might actually be an enjoyable time and
Yeah.
make it out alive.
Yeah. So give your friends grace, but also
Give your
prep
friends
on the
grace.
prep on the front end to try to avoid as many miscommunications and problems beforehand. If the group chat is bumpy and rocky and it makes it out, maybe be aware that, okay, this might go bumpy and rocky. Check the red flags first
Yeah,
and don't ignore them just for the sake of going to fill in the blank area.
yeah. And I'll say this too. Don't come on a girl's trip with a negative attitude.
Mhm.
Like, if you already know you're like not feeling it and it's this and this, don't bring that energy, because that energy is it's gonna, it's really gonna be taken in the group. You really do gotta prep your mindset and prep yourself to be like, okay, let me get myself together.
Yeah,
We can do this. Yeah,
I
you really
agree.
do.
I agree. This is like so left field, but I wanted to say because it just popped in my head. I should have said it in another area, but also, and I personally, this is like just my own personal opinion. Don't go on group trips when you know there's somebody in the group that hates you. Like, and I know it could just be like, I don't want them to stop it for me, but especially like out the country and stuff. How many stories have we had over the last couple of years of young women not coming back home from their trips? Some funny stuff happens and nobody in the group can explain. I know one time I went on a girls' trip with someone and the group hated me, and I didn't know it though. Like I always kind of thought they acted a little weird. My friend kept being like, "No, girl, she don't even talk about you." And and I remember feeling have to be on my guard so much because for some of y'all, you got people that don't like your enemies and all they do is talk about you. All they do is, say passive aggressive stuff when you're not there. They're not really big and bad. But some people will put you in very dangerous circumstances. And
Mhm.
I know we never want to think of the worst, but it's just something I want to put out there. Put in your mind, like, and also, don't go on trips with people who you don't know their codes of ethics when it comes to safety of everybody in the group. Their girl codes of ethics when it comes to things like girl code. It's always me and Neek had an old episode. I can't remember what we were talking about, but I remember saying this before in the podcast. The worst time to figure out you are out with the girl who will leave you because her man called, she met a new guy because she get randomly got an attitude, but like will leave you out in public, who will leave you, is when you are on vacation alone with this girl.
Mm.
She's had an experience like that. I wasn't on vacation. I was just out and about in the town with a girl who literally left me. Literally left me somewhere. I didn't know where I was because she drove, but she was there, like literally took her car to go drive to this man's house and then text me like, "Oh, I'll give you money for Uber." That is such a scary feeling. Even when you are like, again, I was where I lived. I was just on a different side of town. I was just like drinking intoxicated, but thought I was cool because I had somebody there with me. That can be such a scary feeling. So also, I know I should have said this earlier, but like really pay attention before you do things like go on trips, especially internationally. Do we have the same girl codes? Do we follow the same rules around safety?
Very true. Very true. I second that.
Anything else before I close?
I have nothing. You guys got it.
Well, guys, we hope you liked today's episode. We'll have a new one for you Sunday. You can follow us on TikTok at She Wolf Alchemy Podcast or on Instagram at She Wolf Alchemy. Leave a review, leave a review with some words wherever you're listening.
Share.
Wherever you are listening. And yeah, that's all we got. Bye.
Bye.